Does that picnic table look level to you guys? Me neither. Well guys, we've made it to our 14th stop here on our family circle camping trip. Was that cool or what? And it seems like this trip is just flying by because we're in Hillsboro, Indiana, and we're almost to pretty much the halfway point, which is Des Moines, Iowa, where Christy's family is. I point that way because she's inside the camper. Have I mentioned that I love this stuff? Yeah, even with all the mishaps that we've had, the flat tire, the problem with the slide out topper, the problem with the couch being crushing the slide, the TV that broke, even getting lost numerous times thanks to Google Earth or Google Maps. Yeah, even with all that stuff, we're still having a really good time. Well, I wouldn't trade any of those bad experiences for anything because, as my dad used to say, it makes the trips memorable. I think I mentioned that before. Now we're at the Charlotte Rose Lake and RV Campground, I think is what it's called. And getting here wasn't smooth, but I'm telling you what, so far, I really love this place. Well, apparently they had an issue with our reservation, so they had to change sites for us to Site 65. And I'll take this mistake all day long. I mean, look at this. It's right beside the lake, and there's absolutely nobody out our front door. How cool is that? Now, I'm not sure how we keep doing this, but apparently Charlie Rose is another one of those campgrounds that's more for permanent stays or long-term, I guess, residents. And I'd say like 80% of their sites have campers set up permanently with decks. Some even have sheds, and some of them are pretty personalized. People around here, I think they have pride in ownership. Now, we have a lot of these campgrounds like this in Florida where we're from, or several of them that are close to where we live. And none of them are to this caliber. A lot of them, I guess in Florida, people just don't seem to care. Anyway, again, I'm impressed with the campground, and I'm also impressed with the staff. Now, just keep in mind, we've only been here since yesterday. Now, speaking of yesterday, the trip here was uneventful when you're talking about catastrophes. But if you're talking about bad roads, we had a lot of events. We had to take I-70 from Richmond, Indiana, all the way through Indianapolis, and we had to drive straight through Indianapolis. Have you ever driven a camper through Indianapolis? Well, proudly I can say that I have, and we didn't die. I can honestly say if I never have to drive I-70 again in my life, it'll be too soon. That road will rattle your teeth. It was almost to the point that I wanted to take mine out. Huh? Now, as I mentioned before, we've been lost or we've been turned around a few times, and that's all been thanks to me. Not thanks to her. She's the one that gets us out of these messes. Actually, it's me and Google Maps that screw us up. She's the one that saves us. I think I've also mentioned before that she's like a human compass. She can be put in the middle of the woods, 20 miles away, spun around 30 times with her eyes closed, and she can still point to north. I'm not sure even which direction that is because I don't have that internal compass. And I'm from West Virginia. Shouldn't I have that somehow built into me? Well, I don't. So thank goodness that she's with me. I don't think we would ever get to where we're going if we relied on me. I'm not sure exactly how she did it, but somehow she was able to identify that there was a crash several miles ahead of us on one of these interstates going through Indianapolis. And she was able to get us maneuvered around that crash without losing 1 minute at a time. Now, all I had to do was listen to her instructions. She kept saying, turn left, turn right, and we made it through without any problems. It was pretty awesome. Long story short, we got here, we survived. The camper, the truck, they're all in one piece. So it was a success. Now we're only here for just a couple of days, so we don't really have a lot planned. But this morning we went out on the town and found a couple of things that we wanted to see. The first thing that we saw was, what is it called? It's called Williamsport Waterfalls. This waterfalls is the tallest waterfalls in the state of Indiana. You guys see a theme here. We like the world's biggest or the world's tallest. It's pretty cool stuff, right? Who needs to go to all these national parks? Like, I don't even know what the national parks are. But anyway, it was a pretty cool sight from up top. Now, there was a hike to go all the way down like a half a mile to the bottom of this falls, but, you know, yeah, we didn't make it. Now, another thing that we got to go see this morning, it was called the Rotary Jail Museum, and it's in Crawfordsville, Indiana. You guys ever heard of a Rotary jail? Yeah, me neither. But from what I understand, it's, well, we went and saw it, so I kind of understand it a little bit better now. It's like a circular jail built on a 30-ton rotary-driven system that's underneath the floor, and the cells are wedge-shaped. Apparently, the whole room rotates around a center point where there's a single doorway. The cells don't have doors, so they rotate the cells until a specific cell is situated in front of the doorway. I guess it's a way to keep people from escaping. If they don't have a door to escape from, guess what? They're not going to escape. Well, this was a two-tiered jail. They had 8 cells in the bottom floor and 8 cells in the top floor. And the only way to get to the top floor was a set of stairs, and that led to a single doorway as well with the same rotating type of floor. It was really cool. Now, according to what the lady tour guide was saying, there was only really a handful of these jails that were in the U.S., but they had to stop using them back in like the 1970s because there were too many complaints of inmates getting their arms broke or their legs cut off. Go figure. I bet you that a lot of those inmates would have rather been in Shawshank prison. Anyway, guys, as always, I want to thank you for indulging me and let me talk about the Family Circle camping trip. Now, one of these days it's going to be over and you won't have to hear any more about it. But I do appreciate you letting me share what we're doing and share this trip with you. Remember, guys, I do put chapters at the bottom of our videos. That way you can scroll past what you don't want to see and you can view only the stuff that interests you, because let's be honest, a lot of the dumb dialogue that comes out of my mouth just isn't that interesting. Well, enough of all that. Let's get to the real reason that you guys are here. Let's talk about drones. Hey, Dwight. Upside down, right side up. All right, guys, well, as I said before, I don't think I could have picked a windier day. And I've got this trusty, somebody told me it's an anemometer. I think that's how you say it. I'm probably wrong. Yeah, let's just say I'm wrong. Anyway, let's see what the readings are on this, I guess, wind reader. The wind is coming from that direction over there. So I'm just gonna hold the wind meter into the wind and we're gonna see what the readings are. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but it's only saying 7, oh, there we go. We got some gusts here at almost 11 miles an hour. Not sure if that's even coming through, but it feels a lot stronger than 11 miles an hour. And I think, oh, 13. And I think Dwight might have some problems with today, but he's seen worse. It's a pretty cool little device, isn't it? See, right now we're protected by the camper, so it doesn't look like we're getting any wind. But right over there, look out. All right, so what's today's video about? I'm gonna go over to my emails because I got an email from a viewer that just doesn't seem to trust the return to home in optimal mode. Now, you guys all understand that in optimal mode with the DJI Mini 4 Pro with the RC2 controller, you have an optimal setting and you have there's another setting, I can't remember the exact word for it. However, in optimal mode, when you hit return to home, the drone is supposed to pretty much stay at the, there's a fly on me. The drone's pretty much supposed to stay at the altitude that it's at, and then it's supposed to turn and come home and pretty much fly at an optimal level. Whether it raises up a little bit, whether it lowers, I've never seen it lower down, but it could lower down maybe a little bit. Maybe could go to the side a little ways or whatever to get that optimal return to home. But then the preset, I think it's the preset. The preset, when you hit return to home, the drone, if it's below the preset height, will raise all the way up to that preset height and then fly straight home and then come down. So my understanding is that Vince Bush, he doesn't trust the optimal return to home. This is what he said. He said, "Hi Kevin, I really enjoy your channel." And now understand this comment or this email is from almost a year ago. And Vince, I want to apologize for it taking me as long as it's taken me to get to this test. We've just been busy. You know how it goes. Anyway, now me and Vince have been talking back and forth. He understands that it does take some time to get to these tests. But anyway, Vince says, "Hi Kevin, I really enjoy your channel. I'm hoping you can test and confirm an intermittent return to home problem I have with the DJI Mini 4 Pro. I think it will make a great video for your channel since other pilots need to know we can't really trust return to home." He continues on, he says, "I always have advanced return to home set to optimal. However, 40 to 50% of the time, instead of staying at a lower optimal altitude during the return trip, it flies up to a very high altitude. I have performed many return to home tests starting around 30 feet and 200 feet and then manually trigger return to home. Sometimes it starts to fly home at the current altitude and then appears to change its mind and flies up to 70 to 90 feet. Other times it immediately flies to a high altitude. It's even higher than my auto return to home altitude of 65 feet, which, as you know, should only be used if advanced return to home is set to preset." So I think what he's trying to say here is that the Mini 4 Pro is, when you hit return to home in the optimal mode, is supposed to stay at the level that it's at. If it's below that optimal or below that preset setting. Well, I've had the same thing happen to me in the past, but I just thought that it was normal. I figured that maybe the drone was sensing an object that I couldn't see and it felt that it needed to veer around it. I don't know. But from what Vince is saying, that's not normal, and what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to just come straight home on that optimal level. So what we're gonna do today, if we're able to, we're gonna have probably 5 or 6 different flights with Dwight. And we're gonna go out at different heights, and we're gonna hit return to home and see what he does in the optimal setting. Is he gonna raise up? Is he gonna stay the same level? Is he gonna lower down? I have no idea. That's what this test is for. It just seems to me though that the wind is getting stronger and stronger, and it feels like it's getting hotter and hotter. Oh yeah, let me check our data real quick and see what the numbers are. From what I'm seeing here, we're getting 16 mile an hour winds at 50 feet and 29 mile an hour gusts at the ground level. Pretty sure that's accurate. Now, the wind meter says different. It says we're only getting what did it top out at 13 miles an hour? I think this thing's wrong. Well, I'm trusting their data more right now because these guys are professionals and I'm the one using this. Another cool thing though, we're not in any type of controlled airspace. All right, guys, well, I think I've done enough procrastinating. I think it's time to get Dwight. Oh, sorry, I probably shook the camera. I'm gonna get Dwight out of the bag, get him all set up. We're gonna see if we can get him to come home. Dwight, if this is your last flight, I'm sorry, buddy, but it had to be done. This is for science. Well, I would put wow, look at this thing floating around. I would put this thing on the picnic table, but you guys saw at the beginning how that worked out. That ain't level at all. So I'm just gonna put it right here in the middle of the yard, right in front of our camper, and see if this will work. See, there's our camper. That's Dwight's home. Uh-oh. Did I mention that we didn't have any neighbors? A little bit late now. There's no time like the present, right? All right, I'm gonna get the controller opened up. I'm gonna get the controller started. I'm gonna get Dwight turned on. There we go. Dwight's awake. I'm gonna get him put over on this pad. Then we're gonna see what happens when we lift him up into this wind. All right, we got the controller on. I'm gonna hit screen record. And watch this, you'll be amazed. I'm gonna touch this right here and pull it up there, and you guys can't see it. This is all you guys see whenever I'm moving this thing around on the screen. Isn't that pretty cool? Let's put that thing up there so it's out of our way. All right, so as he's gaining his satellites, and he gained them pretty fast, I don't think I told you guys, we're up here, or there's a couple of power lines that are right above where we're gonna be flying, so we gotta be pretty careful. So there's Dwight, there's our new neighbors. Right up here are the power lines. I'm not even sure if I'm pointing to them or not, but anyway, they're up there. Oh, there they are. I see them right there. But that's something that if I can barely see in a camera, I don't know if Dwight's gonna be able to see them or not. Dwight, are you ready for one last ride? Just come back to me, buddy. Please, just come back to me. All right, so for the first flight, let me go over here and hit the 3 dots. Now, scrolling down here, we're in normal mode, and advanced return to home is set to optimal. And our return to home altitude is set to 164 feet, which I think is gonna be high enough around here because the trees don't seem to be 164 feet tall. So let me get back out of that, and I'm gonna pull these 2 sticks together here, and we'll get Dwight started so he can get his, I guess his hover on. And we'll just raise him up. And there he is, he's in the camera, I think. Is he in the camera of the GoPro? Where's he? Yeah, there he is. Raise him back up so he can get in the sky so you guys can see him. But look at how much he's moving around. Now, it's not even windy. Like, this is behind the camper, so we're protected. Right over there is where the wind starts. All right, so I'm gonna raise him up here, and now he's getting into the wind, and I don't think he likes that very much. So we're gonna go up, say, 50 feet. Yeah, he's really, really fighting it. But look how dark that water is in the pond there. It doesn't look so good, does it? So I'm just gonna fly straight forward. There's a bird that's kind of screwing with Dwight. I'm just gonna fly straight forward here, and we're gonna turn to the left. We're not gonna go out that far. We're just gonna turn here to the left and watch Dwight, get rocked by the wind. And then I'm just gonna hit return to home, and we're gonna see exactly what he does. So I'm 250 feet out. I'm gonna hit return to home, and we'll watch and see what he does. Now he's in optimal mode. He'll have his little green line, and he's gonna raise up automatically. Let's see what his height ends up being here. He's gonna raise up to 60, looks like it's 67 feet, 71 feet. And look, his green line there is being blown all over the place. And I wanna see where he lands when it comes to this pad, because I don't think he's gonna do very good. Now he's off the pad, but he's getting himself situated back to where he is about halfway on, halfway off the pad. So if he, come on Dwight, go to the right. There you go. He's trying. I think he's in the GoPro camera now. He's trying to get himself lined up, but man, he's moving around a lot. He lifted his camera back up. I think he's gonna make it. Are you gonna make it? Get on there, buddy. Nope, he's gonna miss. Yeah, that wind was just too much for him, and it cut off the motors, motor unable to rotate. I know he didn't like that. All right, well, let me get Dwight back up on this pad here. And all right, I got him all cleared up so his motor can start up again. And we'll get him started for the second flight. So the first flight, we went up 50 feet. So let's go up to 100 feet, or 75 feet, and see what he does for the second flight. How high is he gonna raise himself up when he starts out at 75 feet? So let me get the controller, or the sticks pulled together, get him started. Uh-oh, motor unable to rotate. That's not good. Oh, you know what? I think that the ground is so unlevel that his propellers are hitting the ground. You're pretty high maintenance today, buddy. All right, let's start this again. We'll pull the sticks together. We got his propellers going. Wow, he did a little twist there. That was kind of funny. He's already got an obstacle to the right. I'm guessing that it's me because I'm over here to his right side. But let's go up 75 feet and we'll go out the same 200 feet or so and see if he decides that he's gonna raise up, or if he's gonna, I guess, try to maintain that same level. We'll kind of fly over here to the left. Whoa, look out, wrong way. I was hitting the wrong stick, guys. I told you what a great pilot. Let me see, I'm confused again. I think I'm nervous. All right, let me get down here or up to 75 feet. I'm just gonna go straight forward. I think we kind of turned to the left here the last time. It kind of puts a tree in between us. Well, not really in between us, but there is a tree to the left there that he might be seeing on his return to home, so he might be raising up just because of that tree. All right, so we're a couple hundred feet out. Remember how far out I went? I think I was 250 feet out. I'm gonna hit return to home. Have him turn around and, it looks like his, yeah, he's raising up even more. So he's at 75 feet and he raised up to, yeah, he's raising up to like 90 feet. So I'm telling you, he almost got blown out of the sky there. That was a big gust of wind. But it looks to me like he raised himself up to 97, 98 feet, which is normal. That's what I normally see him do, is raise up to 98 feet. So he's gonna come back down to the landing pad, and I'm gonna see if he's gonna be able to get himself on that pad this time, because that wind gust really seemed like it knocked him silly. All right, let's go to the GoPro and we'll watch him try to land here. Come on, Dwight, I think you can get on that pad, buddy. I see you're number 3. Are you gonna make it? Yeah, he's got himself, as far as the screen goes, he's got himself lined up pretty good. See, look how much he's getting blown around. But he is perfectly dead in the middle of that pad. So that's a great, oh, there we go. He just crashed. Is that considered a crash? It does say, it did say that the motors were stuck. All right, buddy, let's get you back on this pad. We'll make sure that your propellers aren't striking the ground here. Such work. I gotta grab my notes because I forget what other tests I wanted to do here. Let me try to find it. There we go, return to home test. So we did the 50 feet. We did the 75 feet. Oh, I want to try one now with 100 feet, so let's try that. All right, Dwight, you're almost halfway done with your test today. So let me get him raised up. And there he is, he's up in the sky. He's looking strong. The wind is catching him. So now I got to raise up 100 feet and see what he's going to do with this test. I don't really foresee him going up higher than 100 feet because he normally stops at 97, 98 feet. So we'll just get to 100 feet. I'll swipe over here to the I'll swipe over here to the left, and I'll just go straight out. There's one of those, what do they call those, vultures? Somebody told me that those vultures aren't interested in these drones, so I think that's what somebody says whenever they don't want you to freak out. All right, I think we're out to 300 feet this time. We went out a little bit farther. Let me hit return to home. And what are you gonna do, Dwight? He's still gonna raise up. So no matter what, he's raising up a little bit. There's never just a flight where he comes back directly flat with the altitude that he's already at. He always feels the need to increase his altitude. So he's right over top of us right now. He's gonna pull his gimbal down. I really hope that he's able to land on this pad again, because that last one was pretty good, but it's on just an incline there, so he kind of slipped down when he was touching down, if that's what you want to call it. All right, let's go to the GoPro here in just a second. It looks like he's way off this time. I might need to interfere here unless he can correct it a little bit better. Yeah, he's got himself lined up a little bit better now. Nope, he sure doesn't. He's way off. All right, buddy, where are you gonna go? Are you gonna land on that pad or what? Let me get behind you. Yeah, you're almost there. Oh, not quite. See, he got stuck again. Motor unable to rotate. It's trying to though, isn't it? Oh, that's a blade of grass. Dwight, do you have 2 more flights in you? Good. So now I want to send Dwight out over here, and I want to kind of place him behind that tree right there between us and see how high up he goes. So let me get the GoPro back on Dwight. Let me get the propellers going. Race him straight up into the air. Let him get situated. I don't think he's really too happy. He really doesn't like me today. All right, so I'm gonna raise him up to 100 feet here probably. You guys see those wires go across the screen there? I'm gonna raise him up here and go this way to the left. I'm gonna raise up a little bit more. Now the wind is going in that direction, so if he has a problem and flies away from me, then it's my fault because I'm having him return home into the wind. All right, so he is now over the tree, and I think he's past the tree. So I'm gonna turn him around towards us. I wish I could see him because, you know, telling you what, it's kind of nerve-wracking not knowing exactly where he's at. All right, so there we are. Now I'm gonna lower him down. Or I can see him now. I'm gonna lower him down so he's got the tree between us. So let me back up a little bit more too, because I don't think I gave myself enough room. All right, so I'm now 350 feet out. I'm gonna hit return to home. And he's already facing us, and of course he's going up in height. He's at 84 feet. And he's flying right over top of those trees. And his max height, well that wind is strong. Anyway, the max height that he got was 120 feet, 119, 120 feet. And he's gonna land, watch, he'll land directly on this pad this time. He looks a little bit confused. Does he look confused to you guys or what? Yeah, he's getting blown around up there a little bit. I think whenever he's up there with the gimbal not coming all the way down and not starting the landing process, he's being blown around so much that he just hasn't found his bearing yet. So that's not really a good thing. He is off again to the left. So let me go to the GoPro here and watch how he's getting blown around. Come on, man, just go over to the right just a little bit. I need you to go to the right so we can prove that your precision landing is intact. Go ahead. You're all the way off the pad this time. Nope. No, he's got one leg on the pad. Motor unable to rotate. I still don't think that's bad. All right, Dwight, you ready for your last flight? Now, for his last flight, not really. I'm going to send him out there and have him go below grade to below 0 feet and see what he does. Because we're pretty high here right now. If I get him out over that water, I can probably sink him down below 0 feet from his launch area. Let's get him started here. All right, Dwight, get up in the air. Whoa, he raised up fast that time. Okie dokie. All right, so I'm gonna go up high so I can get over these, whatever they call those wires. I'm gonna fly straight forward. I'm gonna turn just slightly, and I'm gonna start to sink because I wanna get below that 0 feet. Where are we? We're at 2 feet right now. So I'm gonna go over a little bit to the left here. Let me fly straight out like this. And I'm gonna get below, whoa, look at that. Dude, he's 5 feet below where he took off from. So what's he gonna do now? I think I probably need to hit return to home and keep my thumb on that left stick. That way, if he starts to sink, I can raise him up. So he's 5 feet low. Let me hit return to home. Got my thumb on that left stick. And where is he gonna go? He's raising up. Oh, he's gonna go up really high. Yeah, he's raising himself up high enough to where he gets over those telephone wires, which is good. He's at 50 feet. Maybe he won't return to home at less than 50 feet high. Maybe that's one of his pre-programmed parameters. That was a lot of big words there, wasn't it? Pre-programmed parameters. He's coming back down as the same as he's always been today. He's been left, and yeah, looks like he's left again. So let's get to the GoPro and watch him not land on this landing pad. All right, Dwight, where you at? Oh, it looked like he was, I looked back at the screen, it looked like he was lining himself up pretty good, but again, he's still to the left. You got one more chance, buddy. You didn't know that, did you? Yep, we got one more thing that we want to do. All right, Dwight, I know you feel like I lied to you, but we got one more thing that we need to test, and I think it's important. Are you in? He's had a pretty rough day today. So what I want to do now is I want to go over to the 3 dots, and I want to change this to, whoops, is it safety? Yeah, nifty mode. It says, when controlling aircraft via control sticks and nifty bypassing is enabled, aircraft avoids obstacles with more subtle altitude change and flies more smoothly, but there's an increase of collision risks. I know, okay. So I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna go back to the main screen. This ought to be fun. Let's get him started here. We'll get him raised up. I'm just gonna have him hover right there, I think, for just a second, because this could very well be the last time that we see Dwight in action. And you guys can see him perfectly in the sky right there. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? He is moving around a lot. All right, so let's go up here. We're gonna go back over the lake at 0 feet high, and we're gonna see if he's gonna raise himself up like he did the last time for the return to home trip. I kind of think that I'm gonna need to keep my, what do you call that? Keep your eyes peeled? That's what Roscoe P. Coltrane used to say. Kick, kick, I love it, I love it. All right, anyway, enough of that. That was stupid. Let me go down here over the lake, or a pond. Yeah, it's a lake. I don't want to go down too fast because he might sink. All right, so we are now, I've got my eyes on him. We are now 2 feet below the takeoff height, which I kind of see. No, that's probably the wind blowing the water. All right, so let me just hit return to home here, see what he does. I'm gonna keep my thumb on the return to home button so we can abort if necessary. Keep my left thumb on the stick. Now he's turning around where he's at, and now he's raising up. And he is, looks like he's gonna probably try to get over those wires, which he made it over the wires. Yeah, he made it over the wires just now. And he raised himself up to 51 feet, which is exactly the same height that he was at whenever he was in normal mode. And he started below 0 feet. So I think that our answer is that. I think that there's a built-in configuration to where he won't return home without at least raising up just a little bit. And then 50 feet might be his minimum return home height. All right, Dwight, are you on the pad or what? Nope, you're close. You're closer now than you were earlier. Oh, come on, go over, there you go. Look at that, guys. Oh, he just slipped off. Well, Vince, I know that it took us a while to get back to you, but I hope the wait was worth it. I think that we answered the question. I don't think that there's a problem with return to home at all. I think that that's just how it's programmed. I think there's a preset setting in the controller to where the drone won't come home below 51 feet. I don't know, you guys tell me if you think I'm right. Probably screwed this up again, didn't I? Well, as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week. God bless.